Good morning, guys. It looks so sunny, but it's actually freezing. So we're back here for another episode, and today we're going to start on the bulkhead. So we've decided we're going to try and attempt like a sliding door, as well as like the storage on top of the bulkhead as well.
It's going to be quite the challenge. The way I've calculated our kitchen, we don't have too much space to sacrifice, so we've got to try and keep this bulkhead as thin as possible so it doesn't take up too much living space.
So we've just started with the framing for the bulkhead, and yeah, hopefully this job doesn't take too long. I'll let you know how long it takes us. So far on day one, so let's go.
Get into it.
So first off, what we're doing is making this framing. So you can see Jess is doing the passenger side now, and we've already screwed this driver's side in here.
Basically, we're just screwing into the frame of the car. The original bulkhead screwed into them with M6 Allen key bolts. So we just went to Bunnings and bought some bigger M6 Allen key bolts, so it'll fit the length of our wood. Our wood's 70mm. Went and bought 75mm bolts, but I figured out a little trick to mark your holes so you can get them easily, because it's quite hard to line up, drilling your holes and lining up to the hole. So cut down a tiny little pencil, and then you just put your wood up against it, leaves a little mark, you just drill on your mark.
Woohoo! That's smart. It's always so exciting when you move on to like the next project. So we only just finished the electricals, and now we're starting with the bulkhead. But every time you start like a new project, it feels like a new chapter and a new exciting thing just to work on for a little bit. So I'm actually really excited that we're doing the bulkhead now. Our main reasons for having a bulkhead is for the extra security, just having that wall there. And we also want the option in this van to be able to climb into the front if we have to, because in our last van we had a permanent cargo barrier, so we couldn't jump into the front. So yeah, I'm really happy that we're going to have one. First time. Which one do you want?
That didn't work.
So we just encountered our first problem, and that is when you close the door handle and then these two little notches here won't close when this wooden piece was in. So we're trying to figure out a solution now of what we can do to make sure the door closes properly and we can still have our bulkhead framing.
So I've marked out where I've got to cut the bits out for the handle and shit. So I'm going to use my vibrating tool.
Did it work? Right,
on the inside.
ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's test it. Run around, let's have a look. Let me see. Did it work?
Yeah.
Oh, it did. Alright guys, so we're actually a few weeks later now. As you can probably tell, bulkhead isn't done. We decided to do the roof first. After a bit of thought, we thought it would be easier because the roof like goes over that way. How do you explain that? We needed to have the roof in first.
It goes into the overhead cabinet that we're going to have, and it would be silly to do the bulkhead, which is going to cut it off.
Yeah.
So you couldn't work around it, so
yeah,
made sense to do the ceiling first.
Yeah.
And then the bulkhead and then the walls and all that. So.
Alright guys, this is going to be our sliding door. We have decided to go with Meranti wood, which is what we used for the ceiling. We're going to stain it and make it the same. So yeah, we've just figured out that we want it dark light. And then Jess is about to put the rebates in.
So we can join them together nicely, have a seamless finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're going to put a plywood backing just to stick it all together, so we'll do that. Alright,
so I am just making the door, which is going to be the sliding door of our bulkhead, and I'm just currently filling in all the little nail holes with the brown putty. So far it's coming out really well. We cut down the Meranti at 8mm, and then that's glued and nailed onto a sheet of plywood, and the plywood is 6mm. Yeah, hopefully it's going to turn out really good. Love it so far. Good morning guys, it's the next morning now, so my door is dry. I'm going to go in now and give it a sand, and then I'm going to stain it once I'm happy with the smoothness. So far so good. Alright guys, we have a working door. Well, kind of, almost. It's getting a bit jammed, so we're figuring it out. But look how good! Oh my god. It's looking good.
Alright, so finally got the sliding door on and working properly. It's taken me a few attempts and adjustments to get it correct so it slides nicely in and out. End up having to use 3 draw slides because the door ended up bananaing when we stuck the Meranti to the ply backboard because we didn't clamp it properly. So yeah, what we should have done is probably got 2 boards and just clamped it all together really tightly so it sandwiched together really nice. Had to add an extra one there and it's just made it not catch and keeps it a bit straighter. Pretty good now. And we got a push to slide, draw slide up the top. So when it locks in, can't pull it out, which would be handy for when we're driving and that. So yeah, pretty stoked. So now we can work on the rest of the bulkhead, finish the framing and then do the walls.
It's finally time that I can start staining the door. We've got the door all sanded. I raised the grain, sanded it again, filled in all the little holes where the nails were, and we also got the draw slides adjusted correctly so it all works. Probably took us like 2 days to get the door working, which was really long, but anyway, we got there in the end. Now I'm just gonna use the leftover stain of what I used to do the ceiling in the van. This is the walnut coloured stain and we really like it, so hopefully I've got enough to finish this door. I'm just about to start cutting this fabric and this is going to be used for the cab side of our bulkhead and the inside of the top of the bulkhead where we are going to have some like inside storage. I'm actually really happy about it. So I wanted like a charcoal coloured material. I don't really know how you describe it. It's almost like that marine carpet. When I was looking on Google, it said it was going to be 55 Australian dollars per metre. So I went into the Spotlight store in town and pretty much the exact same colour and material as what I was after was on special for $15 a metre. So I needed 3 metres, so it cost me $45 in total. So yeah, saved quite a lot of money. And yeah, hopefully 3 metres is gonna be enough. So just got all my measurements and I'm gonna start cutting this out now. And yeah, I'll show you what we're gonna do with it. So basically, we are just finishing off carpeting the inside cab area. We've figured out the door, so that works with the push. And yeah, we're just carpeting it. So this should all be finished off today, hopefully this cab side. It's looking great so far. Next, we're going to just start on the framing of this side. I'll keep you posted.
Welcome back. Today we're tackling the bulkhead and
Today? Do you mean this week? The last 2 weeks?
Continuing the framing because we've extended the bulkhead out to accommodate to this pocket door. Had to extend the framing because I am lazy and we have already gone forward with the carpet in the cab side. Couldn't really replace this. Would have taken too much time and work and effort and we just would have went backwards. So I've decided to just like extend the framing. And by doing this, I've created some sort of concoction and I think it'll work.
I think it looks okay.
It looks dodgy at the moment. I think that's what makes a good woodworker, is they cover their mistakes. And if you can't tell the difference, well then, that's all that matters. I've had to glue together some
Are you going to hide this gap?
Yeah, some plywood strips.
Other than that, do you want to talk me through the other framing that you've done the last couple of days?
So we put this fella in. This is the yellow wall. This one is solid AF. Like, he's not going anywhere. If you pass me the camera, I actually routed a groove for the door. Goes all the way down. Also with little pockets, because if you see on the door here, I don't know if you can see, but we've got the draw slides there, and what happens is the door slides nicely into that, as you can see. And what it does, it makes it very solid. I'll have a lock on the door, so when it's shut, no one can break in, we can't break out, and life is peachy, isn't it dumb?
Very demure.
Very mindful. Alright, so once the framing was completed, I then started cladding the walls. I used 6mm marine ply, which I split up into 3 pieces, just for the ease of cutting each piece into the right shape. Mounted with some screws to hold it in place, and now I'm using my trim router with a flush trim bit to perfectly cut out the shape of the door and cupboards. This method works really well as long as your framing is exactly how you want your walls to look. I then created a jig to route V-grooves into the panelling, and this came out really well. And finally installed the panels ready to be sanded and painted. That sums up our bulkhead video.
Look how good it looks.
Came out pretty good.
We're so happy with it. Like, it's not 100% complete. There's a few little add-ons, like a few little finishing touches that we've got to do. For example, we've got a little finger pull that we're going to put on the side of the door so it can open nicely, and we've got a little matching lock latch as well that's just going to keep it shut while we're driving. We're super happy with it. We've still got to paint the wall, the finishing colours as well. This is just the primer coat of paint.
That's a little sneak peek of it.
Little sneak peek up there.
You still got the cupboard doors to make too. 2 cupboard doors to make.
Yeah.
So there's still a little bit of work to go into it, but no, I'm really stoked how it came out. It looks really nice and neat, and the sliding door works really well, and that looks really awesome. Matches the roof. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. We didn't even know what kind of door we wanted.
We didn't even include it in the video, but we kept going back and forth between a sliding door and opening and closing door. I think we went back and forth like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, just trying to figure
So
out what
annoying.
was going to work for our setup and what I was capable of making, because I didn't know what the hell I was going to be able to do. But I think we've made the right decision with the sliding door.
Yeah.
It's worked out really well.
It's such like a feature of the van as well now. Like, everyone that we've shown the van loves the door. I love that it's rounded. It just gives it that little unique look. This project took a long time. It was very like stop, start, do other projects in between. That's why this video took so long to come out. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you found some value in this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye!
Bye!